Hello and welcome back to Mr. Miller's Art Room. Today we are going to be talking about dragons. There are many different kinds of dragons in the world, and different cultures think about dragons in different ways. Today we are going to be drawing the European or Western dragon. The European dragon often represented danger or power, and very often had a particular lizard-like four-legged look, though there are derivations, which means changes, between one style of dragon and another. It just depended on the artist that was creating the picture of the dragon. Today we're going to be doing a European dragon that is just like this. Four different legs, a tail, wings, and a head. Typically they had long necks. Now, as you can see, I've got lines right here, and the lines are blue, and the color is very loose. The color is paint. So we're going to be utilizing crayons, which are water resistant, and watercolor. So that way, when we start to paint our picture, you'll still be able to see the lines. For some of our smaller friends, you may want to do this project on a smaller piece of paper so it's not so intimidating. And for our bigger friends, we're going to be using a larger 12 by 18 piece of paper. So that way we have lots of room. If we're using a large paper, however, I want to see large dragons. I don't want to see a little tiny dragon off in one little corner unless you plan on making a big environment. But today, let's work on doing a big dragon. Some of you may remember the last time when we did our dinosaur drawing exercise. We drew a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Some of the things that we're going to do are very similar. In fact, if you really think about it, a lot of dragons look a lot like dinosaurs. In a way, I think maybe the idea of dragons comes from a deep, antiquated time when we have a memory of maybe some very large, terrible lizards that roam the world. However, this is going to be completely from our imagination. Now, the way you draw your dragon is going to be different than the way I draw my dragon, and if there are things that you want to change, you are more than welcome to do so. What I'm going to start with is the body, and I'm going to start with an oval body, like that. I think that's a pretty good basis for where we're going to draw, and I, again, like using basic shapes. The next thing we're going to do is the head. I'm going to make the head up here. Now, the reason I'm drawing the head is because the neck on a dragon is usually fairly long and serpent-like. So wherever I put the head, that's going to tell me where I'm going to put the neck. The next thing we're going to do is the tail. Now, I like a good long tail on a dragon, but it's going to be kind of hard to kind of move it about. So to make it particularly cool looking, and that's an important thing to do, I'm going to curve it around just like that, almost like an S. But then I need to make a parallel line. Mr. Miller, what's a parallel line? A parallel line, Mr. Monocle, is when two lines are going in the same direction but next to each other, kind of like a highway or a train track. Now this line is going to be running parallel, but slowly getting closer and closer to the point because as we know, tails get thinner as they go longer. Now we're going to do the neck. Much like the Tyrannosaurus Rex drawing that we did, you're going to take your crayon, go to the top corner of this rectangle, and you're going to curve down until you touch the oval. Then you're going to take your crayon, go to the corner of the jaw, but don't start the neck here. We got to move it down a little bit, about quarter to halfway, and we're going to curve down and make a parallel line. A parallel line? I know what that means. What does it mean, Mr. Monocle? It means two lines that are going in the same direction next to each other. Very good. Excellent. You're learning. Now, we need to make some legs. The legs we're going to do with a little bit of overlapping. Overlapping is when we can take one shape and make it look like it's in front or in back of another. I'm going to show you that, but there's also a video in my videos list all about overlapping and you can watch it there and get a real good mastery for it. But we're going to do 4 overlapping rectangles. The first one is going to be right here. I'm going to do a rectangle right there. Then I'm going to do another rectangle right here, a little bit further back, give it a little bit of character by giving that a little bit of a lean. Then I want to add some toenails. Here's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now what I want to do is make the legs. I'm going to take my crayon. I'm going to put it right here, and I'm going to start to make a rectangle just like the one in front of us, but when I start to come over here, I'm going to stop like that when I touch the line. Then I'm going to add 1 of the toenails.
Why didn't you add the other toenails, Mr. Miller?
Good question, Mr. Monocle, and that's because if these toenails are facing us, and this leg is on the other side, those toenails would be over there, which means we wouldn't see the other toenails except for maybe this one. So now I'm going to do the same thing over here. I need to make a very similar leg with a rectangle at the same angle. So I think about where that would be, and I'd say it would be on the other side of his hip, it would be over here. So what I'm going to do is start to come down here. I'm going to draw and stop, and then go to the corner like this and stop. And then I'm going to draw a triangle for his toenail over there.
But why is it so much shorter than the other leg, Mr. Miller?
Well, it's shorter because as things go away in distance, they get a little bit smaller. Now, the legs aren't actually smaller, just like when you see a building in the way distance. It's not a small building, it just looks smaller to you. So when we draw this leg and this leg, the 2 legs in front of us, they're a little bit closer, maybe a little bit bigger, and when we see the legs that are further away, we shorten it up just a little bit to give that illusion of space. Now that we have all of our basic features set up, we're going to need to make the details. Oh, and you know what I forgot?
The wing.
That's correct. We need to make a wing. So what I'm going to do is do a curved line up, curved line down, curve, 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 until it touches like that. Now we can do the details. The details we're going to add are going to be the almond eyes, a little bit of a smile, a nose so he can breathe, some head spikes because he's fancy, and I want to make the dragon a little bit different than Steve here. And just to get a little creative and different, I decided that instead of spikes going down, maybe he has like a mane like on the back of a horse. I also added a pattern of some blobs and spots, so maybe he's a little bit camouflaged. For color, today I'm going to be using this Richardson Tempera paint pack right here, but regular watercolor packs would work, acrylic paint, almost anything that you can use on paper would be perfectly fine. I like these for some of our younger friends, and they paint pretty well. Always remember to wash your brush out first, just in case any of your other friends left some extra paint in there. When you get the paint, what you're going to do is choose a color. I'm going to choose red this time. Take the brush, gently spin it. You spin fast, but count slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You'll start to notice that you get paint on the brush. The water effectively melts the paint on the brush. Now, you're going to go ahead and choose to apply this somewhere. I'm going to choose green for my next color, but remember, always, before switching to your next color, always remember to scrub your brush clean so you don't get the wrong colors in the wrong packs. There's nothing wrong with mixing colors, but it shouldn't be done on the palette. And now we've got this yellow underbelly. Oh, I forgot one spot. There we go. We got the green above, and then I'm going to do something different for the hair and the tuft of horns. After you're all done painting, you can go ahead and draw or paint in a background, or just leave the dragon blank because there's a lot of work in this. Though there is one last step that I think you should take, and I'm going to give Mr. Monocle this honor.
Yes, what honor are you going to honor me with?
I'm going to let you, Mr. Monocle, name our dragon.
My dear boy, that is quite the honor. Then, very well. We shall name this dragon Alexandra.
Alexandra?
Yes, Alexandra the dragon.
All right, Alexandra the Dragon it is. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I can't wait to see what kind of dragons you come up with. Good day to you.
We said good day.